So we're going to start now. And what we have is just a basic rig. Make sure that on the channel box or on the display layer, your body is not selective. So if you were to marquee select the character and all the controllers, right, you can easily do so as well like this. Or you can even create a shortcut if you like. The first thing I want to do also is to create a new shelf. And I'm going to go and look for a new shelf. I'm going to call this one Custom 02 because I already have one over here. And hit OK. So that now we have an empty one here. Right, so just remember that we can add anything. And we're also going to learn how to just simply copy and paste. This is only also for people who build a character and want to add a lot of animation to it. So you know you're going to import in and out. You're going to bake animation onto Unreal, in and out. So, you know, why not just build a couple of tools just based off history from the script editor, right? And then if you want something more advanced, of course, there are tons of amazing scripts that are out there. And I can also show you the links as well, right? So just for example, right, if I were to marquee select everything with my HIKs, there it is, right? And I can middle mouse drag to the new custom shelf, and I want to keep it a mail script for right now so that the next time that you would like to select everything with HIKs, right, you can easily do so as well, just like that, right? And if you want to also select the FKs as well, you could do so. You can do the same thing too, right? But you get what I'm saying. And if you right mouse click and edit on here, let's create a shelf. Not a shelf, but a new tool. It's not even a tool. It's just like a shortcut. That's all it is. And I'm going to call this one HIK select. All right. And HIKs are usually red. So let's keep it red for right now. And I'll show. So now you have HIK select. So the next time you want to select the whole character with the HIKs on, now you have HIK select. Pretty easy, right? No, it's not that crazy. All right, the next thing I want to do is separate the joints, the skeleton, and the mesh from my upper group, right? So this is the top hierarchy. And I want to select just the pelvis area right here and hit Shift P so that now it's separated. And I also would like to separate the mesh as well. So I have a mesh group right here, which is basically this. Hit Control 1, and you'll notice that it's just simply the body, the eyes, and I think the eyelashes as well, right? So we got everything. So select the mesh group and hit Shift P so that now we have the skeleton and the mesh group, and we do not touch the dynamics. The dynamics are always there. It made me stutter. That's how much I'm scared of the nucleus dynamics. It's just, I don't want to touch them. They're working properly right now. We can add any animation to it. So let's just keep it at that, right? There you go, Gary. Look at you making dynamics and stuff. I was going to say and shit, but not for this lesson. I like to keep a color coordination also with my controllers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You already have the raking shelf. So let's keep it yellow for this one. All right. And you know what? Let's keep this one yellow too as well. Let's keep this one yellow as well. There it is. I thought it wasn't working. Okay, so now that we have that going, let's create a custom mapping. Select the character control. We already have the character definition. We already did it through, I think, first or the second class, I believe, or lesson. So if you don't have it, check lesson 1, and you'll learn how to create a character definition. It's actually pretty simple, right? Just simply select the joints, select your location, and then add to select it. It's pretty simple. But what we're doing now is a custom map. So we want to import animation onto these controllers. And there it is. It's this little geared icon on the top. Create custom rig mapping. So select it. Now you'll notice that the character definition has changed prefix, right? Which is basically custom rig. So now you know you're in the right path. So the way this works is, right? Sorry. The way this works is, right, a body part for a body part. All right, so if I were to select this body part, select this one, which is the HIK. We're going to work with HIK. And a right mouse click and assign selected effector. And you'll notice now that we have a green light. And we want to do the same thing for the rest of the body. Right? I'm going to skip the elbow, right? Just because we have a follow-through attribute. So if I were to go to channel box, you'll notice that my elbow has a follow attribute, which means wherever I move my hand, the elbow will follow. And you can also unfollow it if you like, but we will not need it for this. Let's also select the second one on the right side. And we're going to work on the legs. Do the legs and do the whole body now. And unfortunately, it doesn't really mirror itself. We usually have a mirroring option for character definition before this one. It's not going to work. It just won't work. I don't know why. They should though. So for the pelvis, there it is. Or the hips, right mouse click, assign selected effector, right? And we want to open and expand this window right here. This will be spine 1. There it is. Right mouse click, assign selected effector. Same thing for the second one right here. Assign selected effector. And then we want to move on to the chest area. Right mouse click, assign selected effector. Right, we want to move on to the neck right here. There it is. Assign selected effector. There it is. I'm going to leave the clavicles out for right now. Keep it very simple. Select the head controller. Select the head. Right mouse click. Assign selected effector. So that I think this might be good enough for us because these are HIK. So we're going to escape the pull vectors, right, and the knee controllers at this moment. And we're going to test it out, of course. All right, so now that we have that set, we want to go to definition. And I should have unlocked it. Right? I should have unlocked it, but that's fine for right now. I'm going to lock it anyways. I want to make sure it doesn't bug out, but usually make sure that you unlock the character definition and lock it after. But I think it's going to work, so let's test it out. Let's go to File, and we're going to reference just a range of motion really quick. Right? And we're going to look for the ROM file right here. Reference it. Right, so now that we have it, we can play it. Right, so we have an animation. I really believe that the range of motion is actually 1,000 frames, not 120. So let's see how long this animation can last. There we go. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Let's do 970. 970. Bada bim, bada boom. Hey. Hey! Alright, so we have the range of motion, and fortunately, the range of motion already has, the range of motion already has the character definition, which makes it great, right? Because now we can easily just select the source, right? It should calibrate it right away and hit play, so now we have our range of motion. And now you'll notice that, yeah, the HIK are working properly, right? I see something a little bit off, right? Do you see something off a little bit? I do, actually. Yeah. Look, play. And you'll notice that there's a twist. There's a twist on the shoulder. Right. So we're going to take care of that twist. It's only because I probably did not have it follow through on the elbow. So let's make sure that we follow it. So that now, when we play the animation, I want to make sure that this doesn't really pop out. And as you can see now, we're getting some pretty good motion, right? All on HIK. Did you see how simple this was? Seriously. So you can import any animation on this. And now what we want to do is basically bake it, right? So the main goal now is to bake it and to send it to Unreal Engine, right? But now you know how fast and easy this custom mapping can work, but it can only work if you follow the rules of rigging. And this is just a basic setting, right? There are more complex rigs that are out there. You can always go to Advanced Skeleton as well. They're free, but not that free if you want to go commercial. And we'll talk about it after. And don't worry about this little bug after. The animation itself was broken at the end. So let's go to the blue geared icon, go to Bake, and Bake to Custom Rig. Actually, I should have done this. There we go. right? Now, take a look at the source, the character definition, right? If I take a look at the character animation, you'll notice that it's not there anymore, right? So the source is empty, which means that now everything has been baked to the rig. And you can add animation layers and do so as much. But we no longer need the range of motion anymore. So we can go back to the reference editor and we can select the range of motion. And now we can take it out. Remove it, right? Just import it, remove it. So picture this, if you had like tons of other animations, this is exactly how you want to do it. But the only issue that I have now, if I were to select my HIK handle or the HIK FK switch, I want to go to checkbox and you'll notice that now the FK is not following. So we need a follow through because there might be a time where you need FK system and you can do the same thing for the legs. Now for the leg, I'm going to escape the legs for this one because if you ever animate walking cycles on FK, I will literally give you a lollipop from Japan and I'll just send it to you. Like a really good lollipop. No, you know what? Forget the lollipops. They make really good pastries. Maybe one of those great, like, peach chocolate. They have a new peach chocolate. They call it Momo Chocorato. Momo Chocorato. It's delicious. Delicious. I'll send them to you. I'll send you 5 of them if you can make a perfect walking cycle with FK system. Anyways, enough of promises. But you get what I'm saying, right? So now we have dynamics. Everything has been keyed in there. Don't worry about this. That's normal, right? So we need a follow through, right? But now you have the animation. You can hit Control S, right? And we're going to move on to creating there. We're going to move on to creating a follow through from FK to IK. All right. Let's go back here to a keyframe, maybe 120 or something. I don't know, right here. And if you select the IK-FK switch and switch it to FK, now you'll notice that the FK follows perfectly, right? But if you take a look at the right side, this is what you have normally, right? So you take a look at the difference now, right? One's working, the other one's not. Select the IK-FK switch, and there it works. But if you select this one, it does not work. It does not compute. It goes back to its original bind post position right here. So let's take a look at how to create this setup, right? And it's actually not as crazy as you think it is. It's a very basic and simple technique, and we'll go through it right now. Let's first get started by selecting the IK-FK switch, and we're going to work on both sides. I'm going to do one side, but you know how to do the other side. I'll do the other side really fast. And what we're going to do is select the FK controller, hit F on your outliner, and select the upper group. Mine is FK left arm group, right? There it is. That's the upper group. It's got the same pivot information, right? And what you're going to do is hit Control D and create a duplicate. And by creating this duplicate, you're going to have the same blue controller again. So it's quite confusing. Let's make it unconfusing. Unconfusing, right? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's create a prefix hierarchy right here and type copy caps lock so you can see it inside your hypergraph. Copy. Look at me. Expand it. Watch. Copy, copy, copy. Dashers, dashers, dashers. Right? So now we have this copy right here. I'm going to hit Control 1. You don't need to do this, but I feel more comfortable. I'm going to select their vertices. Yeah. I'm going to select their vertices for these right there. Let's select Control Vertices. And if you don't have your vertices showing, by the way, just go to Show, Viewport, and NURB CVs. Right? And let's just select the top vertices. Let's make it a little bit higher. Lower, left side. I'm just going to push it to the side, right? Expand it just a little bit more and change the color. So I'm going to marquee select everything and let's make it yellow, right? So all we've done right now is just a copy of the FK system, right? And we changed the color. And if you hit play, you'll notice that, yeah, the FK system is following the original FK system, the duplicate, of course. I don't want you to be confused. This is animated too. The switch is animated. I'm going to break the connection for this one, right? So that it doesn't work. And if I hit play, now you can see the original FK system and the copy of the FK system. So just remember, we're just using this as a bait, the new copy that we created. I'm going to select my skeleton, and under my skeleton, select the original left shoulder and hit F on your outliner. So now you can see where the left shoulder stands. And then you have the HIK left shoulder. So just remember, we want to have the FK system follow the HIK system perfectly, right? I don't want any smudges or any offset twist or rotation. It happens a lot sometimes to big complicated custom rigs, and some good rigs actually. I mean, you're not a Disney, of course, or anything like that, but a lot of like custom rigs that I've used before, there's always just that little twist off, and it bothers me sometimes. But the rig always works. There was never an issue. To get back to the subject, hit Shift H so that you unhide the HIK left shoulder. And what we're going to do now is simply select the HIK left shoulder, Shift select the copy of the left shoulder, and hit parent constraint. And just remember, this controller needs to have the same values as this controller. They need to have the same values, so double check everything and make sure that they do have the same values. And you'll notice that I have quite a few offsets right here, values that have an offset. So I want to make sure that I marquee select everything, bada bing, bada boom, and just hit 0 for all my controllers. Let's do this again. Left HIK shoulder, shift select the copy left shoulder FK, and add a parent constraint. Do the same thing again. Add a parent constraint. Same thing again, right? This is the HIK joint, right? Not the original. And select the copy and parent constraint. Right. I also want to take that history and I would like to add it to my custom shelf. All right. I just want to add it on there so you can have a habit of just copying and pasting history from here and there. So the next time that you need to do this again, right, it'll be easily done just by selecting this shortcut. And I mean, look how easy it is you can tell exactly where I started. Select HIK left shoulder, select copy FK shoulder. It starts from there, right? So I'm going to marquee select everything here, middle mouse drag it to the shelf, and hit mail. I want to keep it a mail script, right? All right, so now you have it here, and let's edit. Let's just call it parent constraint PC for right now. It's just the history, that's all. So nothing too crazy about this one. But do save all the shelves. Save all shelves. All right, we can edit this after. But at least we've copied what we've done. So now if I were to hit play, you'll notice that, yeah, it's actually working. And if you take a look at the switch and you make that switch from here from 10 to 1, right, it follows perfectly the HIK system. And that's exactly what we want. So if I were to go back to my original bind post position right here, right, I want to see my FK system. There. FK is clean, this one's clean, and now we can easily select the copy, shift select the original FK shoulder controller, and add a parent constraint. Let's do the same thing for the rest of them. So you get what I'm doing, right? I'm just using the copy as a bait. The form, constraint and parent constraint. Awesome. So now let's take a look at what we have so far, right? Now the FK is following. right? Just remember that if I make the switch right now, let's hide the copy. That's the copy. Hit Control H and make the switch. See? Pretty cool, right? Right, so why don't we create another one on the other side? We have one right here, right? And we can now hide this copy. Hit Control H, and let's work on the other side. On the other side will be pretty simple. Simply select the right shoulder. We've done this before. I'm going to go fast for this one. There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Shift H. Now you have this one. Select the controller. Bada bing, bada boom. Right here. And now if I were to select my controllers, let's just make sure that we select all of them. Clean them out. 0. We need everything to be clean. We can now select this controller. Do not I'm going to mention this. Do not copy this or mirror this controller from here to the other side. We do need the data and the values to be exactly the same for this process, right? For anything else, I guess no. I wouldn't do it. Maybe it could work, but I don't want to do it. I just don't want to mess with the rig. Make it clean and basic. So select this controller, hit F. Here it is. There's FKR arms group, right? Hit Control D, duplicate it, hit Control 1, right? So this will be the copy. Select the rigging shelf, prefix hierarchy tool, and now just type copy with, well, you don't need to type copy, but I need something that's quite visible inside of my hierarchy, right? So as you can see, it's very easy to read. It's right there, and I know I won't have any issues after, right? I can delete the constraint. I don't really need it. I could clean that out. And I can marquee select it, make it yellow, just like I did on the other one, right? And also let's take a look at the vertices. Don't worry about this. Right? Let's take a look at the vertices. We're going to push them to the left, push them to the right, go up. Sound like a rap song, right? Go down, down, left, left, right, right. No, never mind. Don't listen to me. Hit Control 1 so that now we have that other copy. So it's not quite like the other one. I think it's reshaped a little bit thicker, right? Or it's the scale is higher. And my cat wants to go out while I'm recording. Damn you, cat! I'm recording. You want to go? Okay. Just go. I can't do no lessons without this cat. Meow! Meow! Right? Remember what we did? Select the joint, shift select the copy, and then parent constraint. There it is. Awesome. Do the same thing again. Joint and select the copy and parent constraint. Do the same thing again. Select the joint. This is the HIK system, remember, not the original. Shift select the wrist for the copy wrist and parent constraints, right? So that now, if you were to hit play, you'll notice that it is definitely following. That's exactly what we want, all right? The next step is to select the copy right here. Shift select the original FK system. Right? Just remember, they're both the same, but we're using this one as bait. And parent constraint. Mother, child, parent constraint. Mother, child, and parent constraint. So that now we have both FKs following the IK system. So now I can select this one, hit Control H, and just remember, you can't animate on top of it, right? So we want to make sure that we bake it. But before we do anything, I would like to just save this file, right? At least save a file where the FK system follows the IK, and then you can bake it after, right? So for right now, I'll keep the animation on and hit Control Shift S, and I'm going to type 12B, custom mapping, and save as, right? So that now we have a second version of it. And if you were to play the animation, of course, you don't see the FK system because it's animated. It's got magic fingers. Break the connection, right? Let's make it FK. Play the animation. Delete the skeleton. Not delete, but set the display off, right? So now we have our range of motion. And now you can easily switch between IK and FK, right? Without any glitches or whatsoever. Now, they are parented to each other. Of course, the FK is parented to the IK joints right now, or, through this technique. But what we could do is just create a very simple shortcut for this character only, right? So I'm going to go back to my custom 2. And remember, we just kept some history over here. And what we're going to do is just simply marquee select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 3 controllers, and we're going to bake them. Right? And right after this, we're going to take the history of this and just keep it. Right? So that every time now that you import this animation, you can easily just bake it and animate on top of it. But just remember to always save a file. I think it'll be much better, right? All right, so we've selected IK-FK switch. No, that's not it, but here it is. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bake simulation. It's easy, you see. I can make a song out of this, right? Middle mouse drag it here, and mouse script. And let's call it FK bake, right? FK bake. FK bake. And we'll keep it green, or let's keep it blue actually, because FK is a blue. Awesome. So hit play. Your FKs are baked, right? Let's hit Control-Shift-S, and I'm going to call this one C. Right? And you can have multiple saves in there, but at least I have one where it's baked and one where it's not baked. And let's save the shelf. All right, so let's test it out, right? Let's see if it works. I'm going to go back to File, and let's go back to B. Right, I want to save this. So just remember, right here, the FK is constrained. Right, it's just a copy. But we just want to see if that script works right here. And it's only built for this character, by the way. So I'm going to break the connection. Go back to keyframe 1. Okay, so everything is set, right? So play the animation. All right. You can select the switch, IK, FK, IK, FK, but these are constrained. So which means right now you can import any animations, right? Bake it onto the custom rig, right? And everything works properly. You bake it onto the controllers, and let's see if you can bake these right here, right? So that now you have a fully functional IK and FK custom mapping, and you can start animating on top of it, right? So now there are no more constraints. You can also clean the constraint if you like. It's no longer there, but if you hit F, right, there's definitely a constraint that's there that you no longer need. See these 3 constraints? Right? You don't need them anymore, but we're going to create also for the next lecture, we're going to create just a couple of tools to bake everything and send it to Unreal Engine, right? But now you have both of them working. Congratulations. Import any animations that you like. Let's do a little cleanup. I'm going to go back to my file, which is basically B, right? Where the FKs are constrained. I want to keep it this way. And I always like to work with IK systems. Right? I'm going to break the connection right here. Hit Control-S. So this will be my main copy for importing animations. I want to make sure that the skeleton is not visible and the body is non-selective. Right? So there we go. We're basically finished, but we do need just one more class so that we can build some really nice tools to send everything properly to Unreal Engine Blender, or any other 3D software that's out there.